Hi and welcome back to our channel. We want to talk to you today about hair loss. What's normal, what's not. If you like this, please subscribe, ring the bell so we can stay in touch and bring you more hair information. My name's Melanie. I'm not a doctor, but I have had a hair loss journey where I've learned a lot and want to share it with you. So one of the first things, where does your hair loss journey begin? It begins with, is the amount of hair loss I'm experiencing normal or not? How do you tell? So let's talk about what is normal. What is normal is for someone to lose about 50 to 100 hairs a day. And believe it or not, women lose more than men because of the processing, the brushing, and the things that we do to it. So 50 to 100 hairs may sound like a lot, but it's really not, because we have over 100,000 hairs on average. So how do you know if your hair is falling out too quickly? Before we get to that, and I'm going to show you a little test at the end that you can do on yourself. Before we get to that, I want to run through some of the causes of hair loss with you so that you can kind of have a little checklist, say, that's me, that's not. It can help you think about hair loss and how to solve the problem. So, lots of causes of hair loss. First and foremost, dyeing our hair. Chemicals on the follicle, just like chemicals on any living thing, can cause it to grow less quickly or cause the follicle damage and to fall out. Heat styling. Heat styling causes hair loss because heat causes inflammation. When the follicle's inflamed, you have more hair loss. Heat is always associated with inflammation, so we really want to be careful with the blow dryer, the styler, any kind of heat, even hot weather, we want to be careful with on the hair. Overbrushing. Brushing too hard, pulling at the hair. Instead of getting your hair and gently brushing from the bottom up, if you're pulling, obviously that's going to cause hair loss. Washing too much can cause hair loss because it dries out the follicles. Washing too little can cause hair loss because it clogs up the follicles. With skin, remember, the scalp is skin, with skin in the form of dandruff, sebum that comes out of the follicle, hair products. Always a balance that we have to strike. We're going to talk a little bit about conditions that can cause it. So if you have polycystic ovarian syndrome, that can be a major cause of hair loss. Hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism, diet and nutrition, probably one of the most common really, is people just not getting the nutrients. Remember, hairs, think of it as a tree, as a plant. It's a living, growing thing. It needs nurturing. It needs regular nutrients, watering, and gentle care. So look at your diet. Stress. Alopecia, which means hair loss, and all of its types are growing, not just because our population's aging, but because of stress. Stress is a major cause of hair loss. Your life cycle. Where are you in your life cycle? Pregnancy, we know that can cause hair loss. Not everyone suffers it. Postpartum can cause hair loss. Those are often associated with hormones and nutrition. Menopause. When I went through menopause, my hair got so thin, I didn't even know what to do with it. It got thin and brittle too, so that can really change it. This one kills me. I love a glass of wine. Alcohol's an inflammatory. Alcohol and excessive use of alcohol can cause hair loss. Not something we want to hear, but moderation is always the key, right? So those are some of the things that can cause hair loss. Once you've determined, I've got too much hair on my pillow. I've got too much hair in the shower. I've got too much hair in my hairbrush. If it's more than that 50 to 100 a day, you want to look at some of these causes. If you can't afford to go to the dermatologist, and a dermatologist is the doctor we want to begin with, because your scalp is skin, that's what a dermatologist does. They take care of your skin. If you can't afford to go to a dermatologist, do your best to keep a hair journal and keep track of these things, but we encourage you to go to a dermatologist and ask your dermatologist to do the following. You can ask them to take blood work. That way it can help you determine if your hair loss is from a nutrient deficiency. You can have the dermatologist do a scalp biopsy. This is the key way to know what is causing the hair loss. Dermatologists also have hair counting machines. Yes, there is such a thing as a hair counting machine. It's a high-powered microscope hooked up to a camera, and they cut a little piece of your hair, take a piece of the scalp, and watch what happens to the follicles. You can ask them to do that. You can also ask them to do the pull test. Now you can do the pull test at the dermatologist, or you can do it yourself. But here's how you do the pull test. So you get a little piece of hair like this, about this size, and you kind of run it through your fingers like this. Okay, make sure it's smooth. And then you pull on the bottom, kind of yank a little, and see if you get any hair. I didn't get any. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this, I'm gonna smooth it out a little bit, okay? And I don't know how many strands this is, but just about that thickness. And then start pulling and see what you get. I got a little split end, but I didn't get any hair. That's good. I'm not losing hair in that phase of losing hair. If you lose more than about 10% of your hair, on average, for example, let's say this was 100 strands and I pulled and I got 10 strands, that could be a problem. Let me explain why. There are 3 phases to your hair: androgen, catagen, and telogen. Androgen is when everything's growing. Think of it as a tree and it's spring and the leaves on the tree are green and happy. Catagen is kind of like fall, when your hair and the leaves on the tree are essentially turning to different colors to get ready to fall. So androgen is the happy phase, everything's growing. Catagen says, okay, nothing's happening, we're not growing anymore, we're getting ready to fall. And telogen is that stage I was describing as I was pulling out my hair. Telogen's like when the leaves from the tree actually fall. The telogen phase, usually it's normal to lose about 6 to 9% of your hair during that phase. That's normal. If it goes above 10%, and that hair pull test is showing about 10% of hair loss, you really want to go to your doctor or look at some of the factors that we listed earlier. Hair is so important to all of us. It takes last though. It takes last in your nutrients, and if you're sick, your body is going to take care of its organs first. So don't deny or ignore the information that your hair is giving you. Pay attention, get to your doctor, and please, if there's any questions, we would love to hear from you. We want to do anything we can to help you on this hair journey. So if you like us, please subscribe, ring the bell, send us questions. We want to share this with you and share the information.